Welcome to the channel. My name is Dennis, and today I wanted to share with you some information about one of our founding fathers of America named Charles Carroll. And he was actually the only Catholic of all the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. All the rest were various Protestant denominations like Calvinist, Presbyterian, Anglican, and whatnot. He was the only Catholic, which says a lot for his status because there was a lot of discrimination in the early colonies against Catholics. And that is why Maryland, even though they were still outnumbered in a sense as Catholics, in Maryland, there were still a greater number of Catholics in that colony of Maryland than the other colonies. And so it became kind of the sanctuary where there was people felt there was going to be less discrimination against them because of their religious belief in the colony of Maryland. But Charles Carroll was Catholic. His parents were Catholic, and his parents were very wealthy, and he inherited a lot of land and wealth from them. And he actually became one of the wealthiest men in all of the early colonies in America. And when he was young, he was sent to Europe and studied there under the Jesuits for 17 years, where he obtained a law degree. And he also learned fluently 5 languages. And then he went back to the colonies, and there was at that time a lot of discussion about breaking away from England. And he was a prolific writer, and his writings were very instrumental in getting people from Maryland and throughout the rest of the colonies on board with this idea of separating from England and being an independent nation. So he became a delegate and representative at the Continental Congress and in representing Maryland, and then was also there at the Second Continental Congress, and then thus became a signer of the Declaration of Independence. What's interesting is because of his Catholic faith, he was banned from ever holding public office. So he could not become a congressperson or senator or president. And that's why you don't see his name or face on the $5, $10, or $20 bill. And what's also interesting is that he was banned because of his Catholic faith from voting. So he couldn't even vote for the first presidents, Adams, Jefferson, Washington. He couldn't even vote for them. And even though he had a law degree from Europe, he was banned because of his Catholic faith from practicing law in any of the colonies, including Maryland. So despite those restrictions and his status as a very wealthy man, he did become widely respected and was actually the longest surviving member of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He outlived them all. Now, I'm not saying it's because he was Catholic. It's just a fact. So he also outlived 4 of the first 5 American presidents. And so if you're wondering also if Maryland, the state, was named after the Virgin Mary, some of us as Catholics want to think that, but it's actually not true, at least directly. Maryland was named after Queen Henrietta Marie of France, who was at the time in the early 1600s the Queen of England and Scotland and Ireland. But it's said that it's possible she was named after the Virgin Mary. So maybe there's a connection there, but for sure, Maryland was this sanctuary for Catholics early on in the colonies. And fortunately, religious tolerance became a thing later on after America was established, and religious freedom became much more recognized, certainly over time. So I hope you appreciate this information. Thank you so much for watching and liking and subscribing, and drop me a comment if you have anything to share, and we will see you again. Hope to see you in heaven. God bless.